Hello everyone, welcome back to the game that you can only fail at, Timeguessr. Joking, I absolutely love this game. That's why I'm playing it all the time. Now, there's some construction work going on in my house, but I believe now the construction workers take a lunch break. At least I would expect them to do so, and I'm using the opportunity to play 10 hardcore rounds of Timeguessr without talking about it too much, other than saying this is the game where you have to guess the location of a picture and the time, the year it was taken at. Alright, getting on Broadway car. Now this is a picture with some writing. So we're around Broadway. I know already that I will not be able to figure out more than, well, here it's also New York. So we are in New York near Broadway. Well, near Broadway, I don't know if that means if we are near Times Square. Will I find Broadway? I should be able to. Here it is. Now Broadway is a long street, like many streets in Manhattan really. But where the Times Square is exactly and why we would even be there, I guess we are somewhere down here. Lower Manhattan, Little Italy, yeah. Financial district, I'm not sure. I think if I go here, I'll be safe. Although, I mean, there's some kind of intersection here, so we should at least attempt to be somewhat... I mean, is there a park? Maybe. Let's be here. Which year might that be? This is old. People are walking on the street. I'd go as old as to say this is 19... and then a single digit, 1900. I mean, might it be maybe 1910? I mean, it might be 1940, really. I mean, it's not 19. It's older than that. Maybe 1920. It looks like Charlie Chaplin-ish. Let's just try it. 1913, well, I'm happy with that. 4.6 kilometers. Well, since we knew the street, I would say this is quite a lot. But a woman helping a child into a streetcar named Desire. Alright, we are looking at a run. And this is German, yeah, perhaps could also be in Austria. It's a bridge, maybe this is by a river. Kids are... Now, a kid's run. This looks like perhaps even 80s, you know. These running garments. Torgasse. Gasse. I mean, I would say this is more southern German. Well, I guess it could be Switzerland, it could be Austria. I kind of felt like Vienna for no apparent reason. It's really hard to say. Vienna in the 80s. Basel, Zurich. Nah, it needs to be a river, I think. I mean, if this is even a bridge. But I honestly don't know. I guess I could try to find Torgasse, but it would take forever. I mean, this might not be Vienna. There's really nothing... Pedestrian zone, Torgasse. I guess the scale just looks kind of big, and it does that in Vienna. I will just trust my instinct and say this is Vienna 1985. Well, here goes nothing. Zurich. Well, at least I've mentioned it. 1987, I wasn't too far off with the year. Yeah. I really didn't, I mean, I know I mentioned Zurich, but I really didn't think we would be in Zurich because it doesn't really have this river. Turns out it does. Well, I thought it has mainly this lake and then a small canal, but I guess this is a river after all. But even by zooming in, no, I would have not found that. Let's go on. Okay, so this seems to be, yeah, Parisian. Do they look French? difficult. Maybe these are guest workers from the Balkan countries. I don't know if she is famous. She looks like one would potentially know her, but I'm not sure. I say this is in the 60s in Paris. In the fine fashion districts of Paris, which I would assume are fairly central. Could be anything like here in the second arrondissement. Definitely, I would say north of the river, and 62. Yeah, should we just leave it at 62? To save some energy for the next rounds. 63. And we were north of the river in Paris. 3 workmen looking over a model walking out of a French fashion designer Jacques Haim's boutique in Paris. I've never heard of this designer, and I'm not totally disinterested in design history or design overall, but yeah. The Mod Man. A bunch of very well-dressed guys. I don't think I know any of them. This guy here looks a little bit like he is the center of the attention. At least he wears something that would make it seem so. It looks... yeah. What's the street name? Van Berlestraat. Okay, then this is potentially Amsterdam. Well, I guess it could be any other Dutch city, but Van Berlestraat. I have no reason to think that this is Van Berlestraat. Does it sound Dutch, even? Straat, yeah. It could be found. I mean, if we were down here somewhere, for example, Van Oosterstraat. This just sounds so similar. I like it here. But it could be any of these streets, really. Well, somewhere down here, Vondelpark, yeah. Museumkwarter. Well, if I just... Van Berlestraat. Ooh, right. Now, is the Modman still a place? Or were these the last Modmen? Well, if this is Van Berlestraat, then we're looking down. Could be anything, really. Could be here, let's say. Although here seems to be a bigger house that we don't have here. So I guess maybe like here might be more logical. And, well, the street also... no, it doesn't continue. The year... 19... yeah, is this 1960s again? We've just seen what happened in Paris in the 60s. What happened in the Netherlands then? A bit later, I would say, though. 1968. Maybe 1969, when their friends were out smoking cannabis. They were dressing up, standing on Van Berlestraat. Alright, the street is longer than I thought, and they were close to Vondelpark, the famous, one of the famous, if not the famous, most famous park in Amsterdam. A street fashion show. See, if I saw a street fashion show nowadays, I would think, wow. And maybe an old fashion designer would come up to me and would say, well, you know, it has been done. Look it up, 1967 in Van Berlestraat. I'm like, yes, okay. Camping La Cour, Lyon, Nîmes. We are in a city that is neither Lyon nor Nîmes, but potentially between them, perhaps. Nîmes is here. Maybe we are then here, in Valence, on some roundabout. Quite big of a place, so can we even find any... well, I mean, calling this a roundabout is also... we're desperate. Let's say we are here, because why not? Camping La Cour. Year... this is not the 60s anymore. It is... could be the 70s. If I go 75, maybe I should be safe. 1 year off. 40 kilometers away. We were in some... yeah, I mean, a postcard of okay, a postcard, but 46,000. I felt like I haven't done so well, but actually it turned out to be quite well. Let's build on this success and do it again. This is a surfer, a Brazilian surfer, doing a trick. Medina, Paris, yes, Paris 2024. So this is surfing Olympic, but I mean, maybe it was part of the Olympic Summer Games last year, but even if we're not in Paris, and I don't know where the surfing games were held. Logically, I would think in the Mediterranean Sea, but then, because it's warmer and maybe the conditions are better, but you don't have waves. So maybe you are more likely to be out somewhere here, but like in Nantes. Here, this sounds like a surfing paradise. Saint Nazari. No, don't give me all these French pictures, I cannot pronounce it. And we are 2024. Well, your guess is as good as mine with this location. I have no idea. Brazilian surfer Gabriel Medina celebrating mid-air in French Polynesia after making a difficult tube section. French Polynesia. I mean, yeah, I got the year, sure. And I still got 12 points for the location. But French Polynesia, I mean, I didn't know that part of the games were held in some French, I guess, colonies or... Oh my god. Well, at least I was closer to it than if I would have gone to Marseille or somewhere in the Mediterranean. Then I would have gotten only 11 points. Okay, well, they're lining up to see something that we don't see. Which is, I would say, the Louvre. Because I do remember that across from the Louvre, you had this giant picture. And when I was there, I was like, well, why is no one looking at this giant nice picture, only at the small Mona Lisa? So, with this kind of predisposition of the game of being in Paris, I would say we are at the Louvre. Now, where in the Louvre the Mona Lisa is cannot be seen from here, I guess. Could be there. And these people... I mean, did anything happen with the Mona Lisa, or is this just any other day in Paris? It doesn't look like... I mean, it could be from yesterday, you know? So, I see no reason I will go 2023. 2011. Yeah, well, really, I mean... I guess I should have looked at some more shoe models. I'm a bit bummed out this is 12 years off, I mean... But based on what would you come to this conclusion? I mean... Could have also been that the clothes of these people are 12 years old, you know? Alrighty then, beautiful picture of the atomium that was built for some great exhibition in Brussels. It's a little bit in the north of Brussels, I believe. Not something you would necessarily come across just in the city center. Also not too far away, perhaps Brussels Expo, and the atomium is here. Now, which way are we looking at it? The shadow comes from there. Let's say it's midday. So if the shadow comes from there, it should be west. So we are looking north. So consequentially, perhaps we would be here. Or even further down, I mean, hard to say. Year-wise, well, is there anything written on the map? But I think this is quite old. I'm not sure how old, but it might even also be 60. I guess if I go 1970, I would be kind of safe-ish in the middle between different things. Except I'm missing something again. Tail lift. Yeah, this looks old, doesn't it? I feel like it was 1960, let's say 1968. I just read about this, because I asked myself when this crazy object was built. Let's give it a try. 1958. I knew it was old, but that old, you know, you wouldn't think it's that old. You just wouldn't believe that they were able to build that thing this year. But at least I was in the right place, more or less. That's cool. So no second to last round. Oh, this catches me off guard. Yeah, well, so this is a test of a atomic bomb or some kind of nuclear bomb in some midway atoll somewhere. I can only assume that the closest I can think of is Hawaii. Now, I don't think it is here, but I think where it is, I will not be able to find. The only question I have is, could it be in the Caribbean somewhere? Obviously it's warm, I mean there are palm, but this kind of... I have been to this place before, Necker Island. Like not personally, but on the map, Micronesia. Yeah, I mean... Marshall Islands. I'm sure that if I was in the right place on the map, it would kind of give it away. Here's some atoll. Yeah, this is the kind of place, huh? I'll just be in this area. It's further out than Hawaii. And the year... Are we in the 50s maybe? 1950? Let's give it a go. 1946. A nuclear weapons test conducted by the Micronesia. Well, I know I was 600 kilometers away, but looking at the global world map, I'm kind of happy with that. It was in the end. Yeah, how long do I have to zoom in here to really find it, you know? Baker explosion. Next and last round. Israel Airlines is nowadays called differently. These people look fashionable. I'd say we are again. I mean, in the 60s, how? 1970s, maybe safer shot here. I don't know how big aviation really was. I mean, this looks fairly rudimentary. So does the plane as well. The big question that remains for me now is, where is this? I have no idea other than to say, like, you know, Tel Aviv airport, but it might as well be somewhere very, very different. I mean, where would an Israeli plane fly to? It looks fairly sunny here. It looks also fairly dry, and white architecture is usually quite dominant in Tel Aviv, a city also so influenced by, you know, Bauhaus architecture. There's an airport here. It looks fairly big. I have no idea. Here goes nothing. Oh my god, I was at the right airport. And 6 years away. 36,000, 10,000 less. Yeah, well, this French Polynesia surfing competition has really not done me a great favor in this game. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you for the next video. Bye bye.